Hey my YouTube family, how's it going? So I thought, today I should wear like a vest because my transformation is about to come to an end, but hey, remember, this transformation will continue. I'll exactly going to show you how you can actually take your body to the next level week on week, but officially we'll end it probably next week. So you just do let me know how do you like the gains. You remember those shots that I shared with you a few weeks ago. Anyways, so, what are we talking about today? I'm going to talk about something which is very, very interesting. We're talking about genetics. Now, genetics is something most of you would know that we have no control of. You're just born with whatever your mama gave you. There's nothing you can do. But there are people, we know because they're celebrities who have managed to change their genetics, or probably take their genetics to another level whatsoever. So who are those celebrities? Can we learn something from these guys? Learning from them probably would help us also change our genetics which we not only can defy but can also maintain for the rest of our lives. So what are we talking about here? Who are those celebrities? Number one, you all know him, Virat Kohli. Now think about Virat Kohli. If you see him in his childhood days, if you see him, remember that photograph that's doing around on Facebook where Ashish Nehra is giving Virat Kohli the prize. I think he won somewhere in school. Just have a look at it. You'll see that he's a very chubby kid, and he was chubby till about 17 years too, 18 years I believe. And then suddenly, he started losing weight, and if you were to look at him now, I think he's between 26 to 28 years, he's looking exactly different. So he was an endomorph, a guy, who obviously had a tendency to put on weight. And then in his mid-20s, he became an ectomorph, or I would call it a blend of ecto and meso, somebody who's genetically skinny, looks to be genetically skinny, but has some muscle mass. So it's a mix of ecto meso put together. So he has managed to change his genetics, and I'm sure there is a lot of hard work which has gone into it, because remember guys, there is no room for drugs at sports, especially in cricket. So that's why I have huge respect for these guys, because you understand, people who are playing active cricket, and these guys play cricket all through the year. They have to be active. They can't be on a diet which is obviously low carb. They have to have good food. They have to have food which will give them energy, because if they are running short on fuel, which is food, it will have an impact on their performance, which is not what they want. Plus, I've been also reading and seeing on television, you must have seen it too, that he has switched to a grilled food diet. He only eats grilled food, and there's a lot to learn from this guy, and I respect him for the fact that you are a fat guy in the past, but with sheer sports passion and enthusiasm, you've not only done our country proud, but you've also managed to change your genetics. To hats off guys. So you always ask me, who do we look up to in terms of our role model? So there you go. Virat Kohli is one guy that we all should look up to, from his physique perspective, from what he's doing with his talent, to what he has managed to do. So he's one guy who has also changed his genetics. So that's more from a genetic side. Number two, another example, but from a different industry, Salman Khan. Now he's one guy, if you go back to his Maine Pyar Kiya days, and back in late 80s and early 90s, he was an ectomorph, a very skinny guy, about weight somewhere between 50 to 60 kilos. But now in his late 40s, I think he turned 50 now, he's more of an endomeso, which means that he looks to me a little bloated, but at the same time has muscle mass too, because so what he can do is he can immediately for a shoot can bring back his body, can bring about that muscle mass back again. His muscle memory is very good. So whatever he does during his off season, when there are no movies, where the scene does not require him to show his body, he's pretty much eating everything. But the moment the show comes in, he has a body show like a movie Sultan coming in, he's pretty ripped. So he's a blend of endo-meso, coming back, but he was born as an ectomorph. So that's quite a learning there too. Number three is another example from the same industry, John Abraham. Now John Abraham, if you were to look at him, he was a mesomorph, a guy who looked muscular, had a little bit of water, but that's okay because he wasn't training back in his days, the Jism days. He was a little muscular. What he has managed to do now is he has taken his mesomorph frame to another level. Now he comes across as a super muscular guy, but remember, the amount of hard work this guy also puts in is insane. So what he has managed to do is, he has taken a mesomorph look and turned it into an extreme mesomorph look, which means that even if he ages now, he will lose very little muscle mass as he reaches his 50. So that's the learning, guys. Remember, I always tell you this, and I'm going to share this again with you. As you age, because you got to understand, age is inevitable, the more muscle mass you'll have on your body, which means, that's why I keep asking you to lift heavy, the more you'll be able to maintain all through your life. The lesser muscle mass means that you'll have more tendency to put on weight, put on fat, because muscles weigh heavier than fat. So you got to remember that. That's why whatever you do in the gym, guys, train heavy. Think of adding as much muscle mass as you can. Don't think about abs, because abs is very that temporary look. But if you don't have that muscle mass that I'm talking about, what are you going to do with those abs? The moment you start eating stuff, the moment you take stuff, which is probably not as part of your diet plan, the no salt diet plan, the water weight will come back and the abs will not be as visible as they were earlier. But when it comes to muscle mass, you can probably take muscle mass to different heights year on year. I'll give you another example. Fitness models, bodybuilders, every year they have a target that they have to take their muscle mass up a notch. Like, look at Phil Heath, look at fitness models like Steve Cook, all these guys. If you see them, they bring their best year on year, because if they be stagnant, if they are the way they are, if they're happy with it, they'll be like, you know what, I've played Mr. Olympia, I've won Mr. Olympia 4 or 5 times, I've been a fitness model for so many years, why do I have to train? I just can probably do what I'm doing. But no, because they know it's because the more muscle mass you have, the more you'll be able to maintain a long run, guys. So this is exactly my point to you is too. If your genetics don't allow you to, guys, you got to fight against them. Just see what you can do. Now the question comes, how do you fight against your genetics? What did these guys do that we haven't been able to do? It's simple, guys. Hard work, persistence. Remember, to change your body type, it requires effort. But to maintain that changed body takes a lot of discipline, because the moment you go back to your eating pattern, for example, an ectomorph has a tough time packing on weight. The moment he starts eating and gets more muscular and becomes a mesomorph, obviously he's muscular now. But there'll be times, when he won't be able to eat, he won't be able to maintain that lifestyle. Obviously he has a tendency to lose weight, so immediately what happens is he'll start losing his muscle mass. That's why that's a sad part with ectomorphs. The moment they stop training, they lose their muscle mass. So that's why it's very important for them to keep training all throughout. Never lose out on that, never miss out on days. Similarly with endomorphs too. If you're an endomorph, become an ectomorph, say for example Virat Kohli. Now if Virat Kohli were to go back to his older eating habits, he will put on weight because it's his genetics. But if he were to try to maintain this by being sheer disciplined, committed, he can maintain it for the rest of his life. So you take a call. If you want to change your genetics, guys, it's a lifestyle sign up. Discipline and commitment. You can do it, and trust me, it is possible. So I hope you try to bring about those genetical change that you've always been thinking to do. Go at it, see and how it goes, and do let me know how that goes for you. So any one of you have any questions around genetics and what you can do, how you can change your body type, feel free to reach out to me either on my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Again, as I always say, I'm adding people slowly on my WhatsApp channel. You will get notification the moment you get added on. I also do these weekly Q&A series wherein I get to answer all your questions via YouTube live video feed. All you have to do is hashtag #AskTarunGill on your Twitter and put up your question, guys. I try to answer as many questions as I can for you folks, because the reason why I exist is to answer all your fitness queries, because I know the challenges and struggle that we all have to go through when there is no credible fitness guidance. So I exist for you. So until we meet again, peace.